said, oh my God, I see you walking by. Take my hands, my dear, and look me in my eyes. Just like a monkey, I've been dancing my whole life. But you just beg to see me dance just one more time. Ooh, I see you every time. And oh my, I like your style. You make me wanna cry. And now I beg to see you dance just one more time. So they say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. And when you're done, I'm back to do it again. They say, dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, 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 oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. Dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, oh. I never seen anybody do the things you do before. They say, move for me, move for me, move for me, hey. And when you're done,
Hi, Dato.
Hi, Dr. Farid.
dance for me, dance for me, dance for me, oh, 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 oh,
Oh, sorry, I mute program. Can you hear me? Yeah. Okay.
oh. Move for me, hey. And when you're done, I'll make you do it all again. Again. I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need that, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true la la la. Oh, I should be running. Oh, you keep me coming for you.
Land in Miami, the air was hot from summer rain, sweat dripping off me before I even knew her name. La la la, you felt like ooh la la la, yeah, no. Sapphire and moonlight, we danced for hours in the same tequila sunrise. Her body fit right in my hands, la la la. You felt like ooh la la la, yeah. I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need ya, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true la la la. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you know I love it when you call me señorita. I wish it wasn't so damn hard to leave ya, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true la la la. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you keep me coming for you. Back in the hotel, there's just some things that never change. You say we're just friends, but friends don't know the way you taste. La la la. 'Cause you know it's been a long
Hello,
time
hi.
coming.
Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon already. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So we have got 33 have joined us this morning. We have got 81 registered, but I'm sure they'll be coming in slowly. So right now I will introduce our speaker. You okay, Roger? Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am, I'm ready. Hi, everyone.
Okay, great. Okay, everyone. Let me just briefly introduce you this great man we have with us this afternoon. He's Roger Wang. He's the president of the Marketing Institute of Singapore. He's also the managing director of Essential Works Private Limited. I think his own company. He's the boss there. He's also the president of the Marketing Institute of Singapore Business School. So I think we do have some participants from the universities today, and I'm sure they'll have interest to work with your business school, Roger. He's also the chief representative to the China Council for Promotion of International Trade, Commercial Sub-Council for Singapore. He's the sole representative or the chief representative. He's the non-executive director of University College Dublin, Singapore. He's the group strategic marketing consultant for CCare Cooperative Limited holding company with 35 subsidiary companies. And he's also a director of CCare Hospitality UK Limited, which manage 8 hotels. So actually, Roger is a wonderful gentleman, a wonderful person that I know from Marketing Institute of Singapore. So our friendship has gone quite down the road quite a few years, yeah, Roger?
Yes, ma'am.
And Roger is very passionate about what he does at MIS. And one of his passion is, of course, personal branding. That's why today we have invited him to share his knowledge, insights, and experience on personal branding with all our members. So with that, Roger, I hand the floor to you.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Okay, everyone, enjoy the session.
Okay, hi, everyone. Thanks, Madam Dato Sharifah. Ma'am Dato Sharifah is someone that I have known through the years, and it's what I call my kaka itself. Really, I mean, we all love Dato Sharifah, and thanks to the Institute of Marketing Malaysia for organizing this personal brand. In terms of to build business resilience using personal brand stuff. And I'm certainly very happy to be here. And of course, I wish everyone COVID-free, COVID-safe. So before anything else, let's begin today's session. Now, just in case if you do have any questions, we always welcome Q&A, and you can actually post it on the chat button on the chat group itself, and then from there I'll probably address some of those questions. Okay, so let's sit back and enjoy today's session. Okay, all right, let's go on. I think the first slide is where I think thanks to Madam Sharifah itself, Dato Sharifah, that has actually introduced very detailed on my portfolios. Thank you so much. I will just skip the first slide and we'll go on to the second one. Thank you. Now, today, in fact, I'm going to share quite a fair bit of my personal journey and my personal thoughts in terms of personal branding. Now, before we begin, let's play some games, okay? All right. Now, if anyone out there on the chat button I can see, all right, can guess this logo itself, okay? Now, anyone, I'm gonna count to 3. Okay. Now, if not, then I'm gonna move on to the second. We'll review it bit by bit, and if you can tell me, all right, so you can put it on the chat group and I can see. Okay. All right. Let's release the second part of the logo. Can anyone tell me right now on the chat group? Anyone? Okay. So we do have around 38 of you. Now I'm not seeing any reply, so I guess you probably don't know, right? The logo. Okay, let's go on. Let me review a bit more. You should be able to tell right now. Reebok. Okay. No, it's not Reebok. Yes, I've got one correct answer. It's Coca-Cola. All right. Okay, let's review the answer. Yeah. Yes, it's Coke. Okay. Good, good. Okay, let's get you warm up a bit. Go on to the second slide. We will get a bit more difficult right now. Now, from this little tiny bit, can you tell me which logo is that? I think all those are quite, quite familiar products or services that you should know. Count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay, no. Okay, let's review a bit more. Probably not, right? Okay, let's go on, review some more. Now, from here, yes, we got it. Gary Wang. Gary Wang, I think I know who you are. Yes, it's Starbucks, okay? Right. Starbucks Corporation. Okay, good, good, good. All right, let's go on to the next logo. This is something very unique. It's a very unique color, right? Okay, let's go on to the second. Okay, should be able to tell, all right. Anyone? 1, 2, 3. Intel. Okay, let's review a bit more. It looks like Intel, but it's not Intel. Now you have the other part, the other side of the logo itself. Let's see. Anyone? Keep it coming. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Review a bit more. You should be able to find out. You should be able to see. Okay, you can see a P, you can see an I, you can see part of the logo. Correct, Pepsi from Olia. All right, let's review. Great, good, nice try. Okay, go on, next one. From here. Okay, let's review a bit more. Okay. Anyone? Anyone? Okay, let's do it. Let's review more. I think probably the next one you probably will know. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's go on. Okay. I believe some of you may know. Correct. Edward, Gary. Smart guy, Gary. Okay, good, good. It's Apple. Okay, Apple Inc. All right. Now, the next one. Okay, I have to say that this is what I call a Pantone color that is actually registered by this particular brand. Okay, you can't see anyone using this color itself. So from this color, I think some of the ladies may know. All right, so go on. Anyone? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, go on next. Remember, it's about the color, right? This color itself is a registered trademark. Let's think a bit more. What blue? Some of you will call it like what blue, something like that. Let's go on, review a bit more. Anyone from the chat? Anyone? Do you see it? And yes, Tiffany Echo. Let's review. Now, by the way, this is a registered Pantone color, so you can use this color itself. Okay? All right. Okay, go on, next. Okay, next. Today we're talking about personal branding, right? So certainly we have to use some human characters or some well-known person. Now, anyone can tell who is this guy from? It's just his eye alone. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Let's review a bit more. Jack Ma. Nice try. Okay, let's review a bit more. Okay, from here, Bill Gates. Looks like a Chinese to me. Yes, we do have someone that's got Vincent Tan. No, it's of course the founding father of Singapore itself. So today, since I'm from Singapore, let's give him some credit. All right, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew. Okay, all right. You can see just from a portion of the face, you probably can tell. Okay, next slide, please. What about this? Oh, this guy has got a very famous hairdo. He's well known. He's known for it. Yes, we got it, Gary. It's Trump. Yes. I don't know about his chance on getting the presidency, but nevertheless, cross our finger. Okay, let's go on to the next one. Guess who is this? It's also someone that's quite well known for his hairstyle, though. Okay. Oh, I've reviewed it's him, right? Right. Anyone? 1, 2, 3. Let's go on. Next slide. Now, from his ear, are you able to tell? Okay, 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Next. What about now? Okay, Leonardo DiCaprio. Nice try. Oh, Kim Jong-un. Okay, Kim Jong. No. Okay, we got someone that got it correct. Yeah, it's none other than the Premier of China, Mr. Xi Jinping. Yes, that's right. Okay. Now, what about now? From his blue jacket. Okay. Now, I think it's a bit difficult from blue jacket. Okay, go on. Next slide. What about now? Now, this guy is known, right, to always wear this sort of a sweater up every time he presents. Correct. Someone got it. All right. From Uni KL, Steve Jobs. That's right. Okay. There you have it. Okay. I think that's all. Now, what I'm trying to show you is that now, if you are from a brand perspective itself, now if it is a popular brand, you probably will recognize the logo because they did quite a fair bit of job in terms of promoting the company and the brand itself. Likewise, personal branding itself. Now, if that famous characters is famous enough, you'll be able to sort of tell or sort of pick up some, I would say, attributes of that guy, even at the exterior level itself. So, okay, let's go on to the next slide. Now, I'll try to share with you something that's quite personal to myself. Personal branding is something that I actually hold very dearly. Okay, so maybe I'll share some of my credentials with you if you don't mind. Okay, let's not take it as a self promotion, but it's more of me sharing with you. All right, everyone. Okay.
Growing up in a poor family, paying for my karate classes was a constant challenge. But my karate sensei taught me invaluable life lessons. He taught me that victories can only be won through self-discipline, endurance, and continuous self-improvement. At 17, I dropped out of school to reduce the financial burden on my mother and worked as a delivery man. I did not earn very much, but I knew I had to start somewhere. Along the way, I met many kind people who took care of me. With their help and encouragement, I found the strength to continue pressing forward. In 1999, I finally saved up enough to set up my own events and marketing company. When I first started, I had to do everything on my own. But I never looked back. Business started to grow, and so did my team. To meet growing demands and challenges, I felt the need to upgrade myself. I decided to go back to studying. Even though I have not studied for a long time, education reopened my eyes to many concepts that could help me drive my business forward. As long as we try, it's never too late for us to continue where we left off. 18 years has passed since I decided to walk the entrepreneur path, and we are now a successful company driven by a strong and dynamic team. My hard work eventually paid off. Today, I hope to inspire the younger generation, just like how karate and education have inspired me. I wish to pass on to them the values of self-discipline, endurance, and lifelong learning. No matter what stage of life we are at, or how much we have achieved, our quest for knowledge must never stop. Because it is only through learning that we're able to soar to greater heights in life.
Okay, hi everyone. Now, this video itself is being produced by my universities. As some of you all may know, because of my family background, that I'm actually a late starter in the area of education and my professional career itself. So this is to share with all of you. Okay, now the other videos which I would like to share is, now I'm someone that will never be shy when it comes to media. Okay, now I always captured on the opportunity that I'm able to have whenever there are opportunities. So there's something that on a personal branding level itself, I would like all of you to also look into it. Now let me share with you over the past few years on some of the media that has captured on my story. Okay.
4月24日上午，2018年新加坡全球品牌策划大赛中国地区选拔赛在昆明隆重开幕。中国国际贸易促进委员会商业行业分会、中国贸促会、商事法律服务中心、昆明市博览事务局等主要领导参加了开幕式。同时，还有来自北京、天津、上海、重庆等22个省、直辖市和自治区近100名企业代表，以及1100多名高校师生共同参加开幕仪式及相关活动。 据悉，品牌策划竞赛已成功举办了5届。该活动已成为中国品牌与国外品牌交流切磋品牌建设经验的重要平台。该大赛以产学合作为基础，服务中小企业品牌，培育和服务中小企业走出去为宗旨。不仅考核参赛选手基于中小企业的品牌运营状况，运用品牌管理相关知识，开展品牌策划的实战能力，还进一步提高了在校大学生的动手能力、创意策划能力和与人交往沟通的能力。
这个公民有一个很好的平台，就学生跟各地都能交流，所以学生所能受益的呢，就是说，他可以说观摩别的那个国家的学生他们的那个表达能力跟表达方式，所以这一点我觉得非常重要。
据了解，此次选拔赛分组赛环节采取品牌策划方案陈述与现场答辩的方式进行，主要考核选手基于中小企业目前的品牌运营状况，运用品牌管理相关知识，开展品牌策划的能力。各参赛队以品牌策划工作室的名义，基于企业目前的品牌状况，研究其商业模式，制定一份旨在提升企业品牌的策划方案。最终将选出每组前2名参加选拔赛精英赛冠亚季军的角逐。进入精英赛的选手均有资格代表中国大陆地区于6月17日赴新加坡参加全球总决赛。
Okay, there you have it. Probably for some of the audience there who are non-Chinese speaking, this is actually a news coverage on one of the events that were being held in Kunming on 2018 itself, and it was being covered on the news. So, okay, let me share with you something perhaps, unfortunately, another language that perhaps some of you probably will not understand, including me. Okay, let me share with you another news coverage.
นอกจากนี้เด็กไทยสร้างชื่อกระชอนโลกอีกแล้วนะฮะเขาไปคว้ารางวัลแผนการตลาดยอดเยี่ยมแกรนด์แชมเปี้ยนชนะเลิศทั้งภาษาอังกฤษและภาษาจีนโอ้โหธุรกิจเราทุกวันนี้บอกว่าต้องพูด2ภาษาคือจีนกับอังกฤษนะครับที่เห็นอยู่นี่คือคุณโรเจอร์แวงนายกสมาคมการตลาดสิงคโปร์เขามอบใบประกาศนียบัตรให้กับนิสิตนักศึกษาตัวแทนจากไทยนะฮะชนะการประกวดแผนการตลาดและสร้างแบรนด์ระดับนานาชาติประจำปีนี้ซึ่งจัดโดยสมาพันธ์การตลาดโลกจีนที่ประเทศสิงคโปร์โดยทีม 1 2 3ไม่ได้แปลว่า1 2 3นะ1-2 ชาทีที่แปลว่าชาวันทูทีเนี่ยฮะจาก2 ชา1-2 ชานะฮะจากจุฬาเนี่ยได้รับรางวัลแผนการตลาดดีที่สุด Best Report นะฮะประเภทแผนการตลาดภาษาอังกฤษขณะที่ทีมคิลเลอร์จากมสวได้รับรางวัลรองชนะเลิศอันดับ1ประเภทแผนการตลาดภาษาอังกฤษแล้วก็ทีมจัสวินจากมสวเช่นกันได้รับรางวัลชนะเลิศแผนการตลาดภาคภาษาอังกฤษและยังคว้ารางวัลชนะเลิศสูงสุดแกรนด์แชมเปี้ยนมาครองอีกต่างหากนะครับโดยชนะเลิศจากการแข่งขันทั้งภาษาอังกฤษและยังมีทีมที่เข้าแข่งขันอีกมากมายนะครับซึ่งการแข่งขันตรงนี้มีเวลาเตรียมตัวแค่เดือนเดียวเองนะฮะและยังต้องเป็นการแข่งขันกับทีมภาษาที่มาจากจีนด้วยแต่ด้วยความพยายามและร่วมแรงร่วมใจนี้ก็เลยก้าวข้ามความกดดันและประสบความสำเร็จในที่สุดนะฮะ
เก่งนะ
เก่งนะ
เก่งมาก
ชนะทั้งภาษาอังกฤษแล้วก็ภาษาจีนเพราะเขาบอกว่าต่อไปเนี่ยเหลือแค่2 ภาษาในโลกนี้ครับสำหรับอนาคตนะนี่เรียนกันบ้างไม่เห็นจีนไม่เรียนเลย
ก็พอฟังมาได้บ้าง
Sorry. Now I wish I can translate that for you, but unfortunately I don't understand Thai language. But nevertheless, now this was being covered in the Thai news media itself. Now you realize it's something that's very synonymous. It's all talking about branding. Okay. All right. Let me share with you the next slide, please. Okay. This is where I was being awarded as the Teochew Entrepreneur Promising Award and the Teochew Entrepreneur Grand Promising Award ASEAN by the Teochew poet Hui Kwan. Okay, so it's where they featured my journey, starting from when I was young, how I actually built the business into today's being a sustainable events company itself. Let's go to the next slide. Now, this is something that probably some of you, some of those that actually knows me will know that I seldom share on this because this is where, in fact, I started personal brand building at a very, very young age. Back in 1984, where I was representing my school, my polytechnic itself, in the debate, which is on our Singapore Broadcasting Corporation itself. Now we call it MediaCorp. Okay, maybe I'll share with you some of the video clippings that I have.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, honorable and distinguished judges, ladies and gentlemen. Tonight's motion reads, that it has become fashionable in Singapore to dissent for the sake of dissent. We, the proposition, maintain that there are two parts in tonight's motion. One, to dissent for the sake of dissent. Two, that it has become fashionable in Singapore to do so.
Okay, there you have it. Excuse me. If you want to find out more, you can always visit the YouTube. Okay. Now, okay, let's go on to the next slide. Please.
Good evening.
Okay. Now, like what I said, started from a very young age itself, I know that personal branding or personal reputation, it's utmost important. So every opportunity that I have, I will always jump on it, right? So now, what is personal branding? Now, in fact, personal branding has been around for a long, long time. Okay. The only thing is that in fact, in China, I can name some of the examples, right? In China, they have been using some of the personal branding for their corporate branding itself. Let me name a few. Li-Ning, all right. I think some of you probably are familiar with Li-Ning itself. It's actually from the founder, Li-Ning itself. They are very popular in terms of the badminton apparel. Okay. Hangzhou Zhang Xiaoxuan company itself, which they are actually a very famous scissors manufacturer. So it's also named after the founder, Hang Xiaoxuan. And Beijing Wang Zhihe food group also, it's also named after the founder. Now, of course, it's not just in China alone. We do have the next slide. I think all of you know McDonald's. Okay. All right. So it's founded none other than Richard and Maurice McDonald's. So you see, they actually uses their name in terms of their corporate branding. Harvey Norman by Gerald Harvey and Ian Norman. Mark and Spencer, Michael Marks and Thomas Spencer. What's Disney? Everyone knows. Okay, Disney itself founded. Calvin Klein, just stop, lock and barrel. Use Calvin Klein for his brand. Likewise, Louis Vuitton and Baskin Robbins and Charles and Keith, our Singapore brand by Charles Wang and Keith Wong. So yeah. So as you can see, personal branding is very important. If you do it well enough, you can even use it as a corporate branding. Okay. So next slide. Now, of course, the 8 laws of personal branding itself. This is where I actually got the reference from Brian Tracy itself, which you should be able to find. Now, number 1, the very first law of personal branding is about the law of specialization. Now, specialization is where you need to focus your brand on one area of achievement. Okay, do not clutter it with too many, which I'll probably talk about it towards the later part of today's presentation. The law of leadership itself, okay? Now you have to be recognized and acknowledged as one of the most knowledgeable, respected, or skilled people in your field. Now in my area itself, I'm known as an event manager, so I'm known as a marketeer, okay? So, and of course, as you can see from the video, I'm also known as a karateka. I believe some of my karate friends from Malaysia are actually logging into this. And of course, the law of personality. Now, your brand must build around your personality in all aspects, including the flaws. So, look into yourself. What kind of personality do you actually possess? Okay. Now, if you're someone that a bit more reserved, can you do personal branding? You certainly can, but you do it on another level. Okay, which I'll probably explain in detail. The law of distinctiveness. Now, you have to express your personal brand in a very unique way once you've created it. So in today's platform, there are many platforms that you can actually use, like digital platform or social media platform itself. Now, some of them actually would prefer writing. Those are some of the traditional methods, like writing postcards, things like that. Okay. Now, the law of visibility. Now, your personal brand must be seen repeatedly and consistently in order to be effective. Now, you can't just be doing one and then leaving it there. Okay. So you have to be consistent and you have to actually make sure that it's being visible to the community that you intend to actually promote. The law of utility, okay, utility itself. Now, your behavior behind closed door must match your public brand, your public profile. Now, sometimes it's very difficult because we do play different persona at different events or different platform itself. So this is where it has to be consistent to a certain extent. Because sometimes, your audience will be able to tell whether you're faking it or not, okay? And the law of persistence. Give your personal brand some time to grow. You can't just decide that, hey, today I want to build my own personal brand. and voila, tomorrow, you actually have it. It actually takes some time for you to build your personal brand. Now, remember this: if you do not want to manage your own personal brand, someone will manage on your behalf. So I would rather that you take the effort to start planning your personal brand journey. And of course, the law of goodwill. Now, this is where I think a lot of successful businessmen, a lot of successful even politicians knows about it. You have to build goodwills, and these are something that is more credible in the area of the media itself. Now, let's move on to the next slide. Now, personal branding itself is often associated with great values and quality, and it always create a positive impression or impressive experience itself. Now, integrity and reputation is utmost important, okay? And of course, your area of expertise and professionalism. Now, it depends on which area you're coming from. Now, some of you are maybe engineers, some of you may be doctors, okay? So in that area itself, you try to anchor yourself into the community which you intend to actually promote your personal branding. Now, we are also talking about personal brand positioning. Now, always create a positive impression on anyone relating to employment situation or business relationship growth or growth and advance in the industry or networking with stakeholders. Now, it all depends on what you want. Now, if you are coming into the workforce itself, start building, my advice is start building personal branding even while you are actually in your uni or in your institution right now. Now, for those that are already in business, successful business always have their own networking. Okay, so you may not know when it will come in handy. Now, successful personal branding often projects similar image quality on organizations or product which one associate with the value of personal branding itself. Now, take for example, if today you want to be seen as someone that actually have the keen interest in terms of promoting education, so you yourself will have to walk the talk, okay, and make sure that you portray that values to your audience. Next slide. Now, to some extent, personal branding is often associated with influencer marketing. Now, we all know influencer itself, especially when you do brandings, right? Influencer or the key opinion leaders are a big group of people that we can always utilize. And it actually helps in terms of the corporate branding achieving the extra miles in terms of the awareness level. So it's like, to some, it's like a personal brand, corporate brand. Now, in the older days, it's like a business card. That those are the pre-internet days. You remember you print your business card itself, and some of them actually put their image on their business card. But in today's age, in today's digital age, it's always synonymous with online. So make sure that you are represented in all the online platforms. Okay, next. We all know who this guy is. Ever popular Mr. Tiger Wood. Okay, now Tiger Wood actually, now in 2020, just recently, he has actually signed a 10 million contract. Okay, now in actual fact, he only made about 2.3 million over the past years in golf, which is what he's known as. But he made 60 million, okay, in endorsement, or about 96% of his overall 62.3 million in earning. That tells you the disparity, right? Now, sometimes your own professional careers and the endorsement itself, if you're someone that's famous or good in something that you do itself, your personal brand may bring in the income that supersedes or surpass your professional career. Okay. Now, of course, we know about Tiger Wood and the saga. Next. Okay. Now, in 2009, now Tiger Wood actually has some scandals which cost the shareholders of up to 12 billion. I'm not going to go through the report with you. Now, remember, if you are on personal brand, do take care of your own personal brand because it really takes pain and effort to build. All right. So if you do have some saga like what Tiger Wood did, you see what he did was he cost his shareholders up to 12 billion, sorry, of losses. Okay. So this is where some of your, in fact, the brands that you endorse on or your sponsors will start to leave you. All right. So next. So Tiger Wood fired by Gillette. Okay, and in fact, he is only left with two major sponsors, and that was a report in 2011. Okay, Imagine the losses that you would have made just over some of the issues I think all of you would probably know or heard about. Okay, next. Now he probably end up having to sign with other sponsors, which the original sponsors are not there anymore. Okay, so back to what I've talked about. You know, personal branding is utmost important. It's not something that you will only portray when you are in public. In fact, in private life also. So be as synonymous as what you are. And of course, we are allowed to have different personas at different times. Okay, let's go on next. Now, the four key benefits of personal branding. Number one is about business employability. Okay, now you are able to actually utilize this when you're seeking for job, when you are looking for a business partner itself. Okay, now second thing is about the company's visibility. Now, remember today what we'll be talking about personal branding and business resilience, especially in the time of post-COVID-19. I think this is where it even play a more important role. Okay, so social selling. Now, sometimes you need your personal brand to actually help you in terms of your social selling of some of the CSR project, corporate social responsibility project itself, and of course, thought leadership. Okay, you can position yourself as a leader in certain area and certain fields. Okay, next. The benefits of personal branding itself, like what I said, business employability. Second, it sets you apart from others on the same platform. Now, in marketing, we are always talking about differentiation, right? So this is where you can actually differentiate yourself. Now, in fact, no two people are the same in this world. So try to find your values and how you can differentiate from the person that's sitting next to you. All right, next. Now, especially so if it's on social platforms like LinkedIn, okay? Now, how to do it? I think look into your values, look into what typifies you against events, okay? And you promote that. Now, it also helps you to remain employable even during times of like now, all right, post-COVID time itself, where during tough times, it's where, in fact, employers start looking for renewal in terms of their staff, in terms of their workforce. Now, if you are famous and if you are good enough, you know, someone probably will look up for you during this period of time. Okay, right. Next, okay. Now, like what I've said, it will actually helps in terms of company visibility. Now, your personal branding itself. Sometimes, like what I think I've shown a couple of examples of that, your personal brand actually supersedes your company branding itself. So it will be able to help the very organizations that you serve, right? It actually helps you to attract attention for the product and services that you're providing. So if you're able to harness on personal brand itself, right, it actually adds credibility. If your credibility is there, it actually adds credibility to the product and the services that you're providing, okay? And the companies remains relevant during tough times. Now, the companies may suffer. I think a lot of companies, in fact, right now, both in Singapore and I believe in Malaysia itself, or around the region, are actually facing some tremendous, what I call challenges right now. Now, this is where we find that with personal branding, come out, you know, make yourself known and then engage the media, engage the platforms itself. And this is one of those ways that you can and you are able to actually help the company in gaining foothold or maintaining their foothold. All right, next. Business branding enhanced by good person branding during tough time. Like what I've said. This is the time where I think, you know, as a business owner or even some of you probably coming into the workforce itself, start building your personal branding because it will really be helpful in terms of helping your business to push your business to the next level. Okay, now thought leadership, like what I've said earlier on, you know, it actually, you must set yourself apart. You can set yourself apart by actually anchoring yourself into different fields, okay? As for me, I anchor myself into events and marketing. Now, you may want to do something that you think you have the interest in, and at the same time that you're able to offer the value to your audience. Status of a thought leader will attract clients, partners, sponsors coming to you for insights. So offer your service. Now, initially, you may not be able to charge for your services to them. But this is something that it comes with time. So remember, like what I said, personal branding has to take time. So this is something where you need to put yourself out there in the area which you are interested as a thought leader itself. Give your views, continue to write some journals, publish some of the articles on some of the platforms itself. I think in today's context, you can publish anywhere on platforms on digital. But beware of fake news, okay? Whatever things that you publish, ensure that you check the credibility of the source. Next. Show thoughtfulness and reliability of a leader, which in turn shows the reliability of a business. Like what I said, you can use personal branding to promote your business. All right, so be known as someone that's reliable, okay, that's trustworthy itself. Likewise, it will actually transcend into your company's values, okay? So this is something that I can share with all of you. Right, next. People will think of and look for you in any relevant service during this tough time itself. Now, in fact, during COVID lockdown in Singapore itself, it's where we are the busiest, where we were doing 27 days of lunchtime webinars. Reason why, because I think during this period of time is where we need to actually offer our service to the business community. And in fact, even during this period of time itself, we have a lot of people coming to us, asking us about, what are the trends in China. China actually came out of COVID, being the first country that actually came out of COVID itself. So using our relationship with China itself, we try to actually get some of the data, get some of the trends, and hopefully that we are able to actually offer it to this region itself. So this is where you should put yourself out there and use your resources wherever possible to help the business community that you serve. Social selling itself, okay. Next slide. Now, good personal branding will bring on an increase in terms of visibility of your business on social media. Now, social media, I think, is something that we cannot ignore in today's context. If you do not manage your social media, someone else will manage for you. Okay, so therefore, greater exposure will equate to increase in social selling. Okay, it all depends on which organizations that you are coming from. So anchor into the social platform or the social media platform that your industry is in. Okay, so this is something that is more relevant in today's context, especially when you have we have like the stay-home notice itself in Singapore. In fact, the restrictions in terms of visiting your client or even flying overseas right now, the more importance that you should actually get yourself exposed in some of the social platforms which your business or your interests are linked with. Helping company to generate revenue even during tough times. Now, let's think about this. Now, if you are able to give consultation, in fact, you don't have to visit your client. You can actually do it online itself. All right, and on the other hand, this is the time where you should do more. In fact, on like what we said, on a social media platform itself, to help your companies during this period of time. So we are seeing, in fact, a lot of activities now online, on YouTube, on some of the official Facebook channels. They are doing more and more engagement online, where crowds are being restricted to go to some of the shopping malls. So this is where we see a lot of brands actually pushing up their advertising effort into online platforms, all right, to continue to generate the kind of exposure, thereby keeping the revenue coming through online payment gateway. Okay. Next. Now we all know who he is, Elon Musk. All right, he has more followers than 3 of his companies combined. So really, the power of personal branding is important. Okay, if you yourself are a champion in terms of personal branding itself, you can always bring along the brands that in comparison. Elon Musk, himself have got 29.3 million followers. Okay, Solar City, 79.4K, Tesla, 4.4 million, and SpaceX, 9.3 million. So you see the power of personal branding over there. So I hope this will give you an idea that, as a CEO, as a founder, or as someone leading your department of the company or the very organization that you serve, all right, do not negate the power of personal branding. So this is where you can create your own personal followers and thereby translate it into your company's value. Okay? So, now, of course, personal brand is about your reputation and who you want to know publicly. Okay. Now, it represents what you are known for, and it helps to form a lasting impression in the mind of your audience. Okay. So, look into yourself. What do you want the public to know you as? What are some of your values or personal traits that you want? Okay, so this is where you can start listing them down. And of course, like what I said, do things that are consistent that will be able to promote your personal branding. Like your personal brand is your reputation. Now I can't say that enough. Okay, look at Tiger Woods, like what I've said. Now psychologically, reputation represents the collective mental construct that everyone except you share about yourself. Okay, all right. So this is where, yes, although you may think that, hey, you know what, I'm someone that's very bubbly, I've got no problems in terms of networking, but it's not just about you, it's about what the community views about you. Okay. So whatever effort that you will be taking or you want to take, make sure that it actually translates into what the community is actually view about you. So this is where you can actually have a check, okay, with your community itself. What do they actually view? What we said, personal brand audit. Okay, so a individual's reputation is like an entry ticket. Okay, it actually allows them to either participate or being held back from various opportunities. Now, in today's context, every platform is important. Every opportunity is important itself. All right, so do not let personal branding or your branding itself hold you back. Okay, next. Okay, from Forbes itself. Now, your brand is what people say about you when you're not there in the room. Okay, this is by Jeff Bezos. Okay, the founder of Amazon. Like what he said, when you're there, they'll say all the good things about you. But in actual fact, the community out there is where you are not around, and what they are talking about you. I think that is what matters most, rather than what they want you to know when you're around. So it's more like they what their perception of you when you're not around. So this is where it's utmost important. Who can benefit from personal branding? Okay, in fact, in my opinion, everyone, professionals, aspiring or experienced leaders, all right, executive, even freelancers. Okay, strong personal branding increase your visibility, your credibility, and your memorability. Okay, so like what we said, take pain and effort in building that. All right, do not just leave it to someone else to manage for you. Okay, perhaps you want to know what are the personal branding process, right? Okay, this is where I can actually share with you. There are three steps, in fact: discover, communicate, and align. Now, discover what makes you unique, uniquely you. Okay. Now, and of course, you must be able to communicate your value proposition out there. And last but not least, align everything around you to build a consistent message. Now, do not clutter yourself with too many messages. All right, especially when it comes to personal branding. Okay, just ensure that you list that down. Let me go through one by one. Discover. Okay, the step one is defining yourself is fundamental in terms of building personal brand. Now, look into what are your strengths. Okay, I think in marketing we call it SWOT analysis, but I think branding itself it takes a bit more. Okay, discover your strength. What is your uniqueness itself? What makes you really stand out there? And of course, identifying your weakness, and we all know why. Okay, now identifying your weakness itself will allow you not to force it to that platform. Okay, where you don't think that you probably will have an advantage or edge over others. Your values, understand your values and take charge of your values itself. Okay, like what are your values in life? What are the values that you want the community to know? There's someone who are kind, someone who are very helpful, someone who are very knowledgeable. Okay, and passion. I always say passion is the most important thing. Okay, pursue your passions. When it comes to personal branding itself, it's very difficult for you to fake. Okay, so look into your passions. In which area that you are very passionate about. I think that will be the initial step that you should actually anchor in terms of starting your personal brand journey. And of course, your purpose. Define your purpose itself. Okay. Now, your purpose itself will allow you to gauge how far do you want to go when you embark on your personal brand journey. So, lastly, build your brand. Like what I've always said, I reiterate that again and again. if you do not take control of your own personal brand, you leave it to the social media platforms or your friends or even your enemies, your nemesis to actually talk about you, then you're in for trouble. So always start managing your own personal brand. Have you ever tried Google yourself? I think that's the very first step that you should try. Google yourself and see what actually comes up from the Google search. Okay, if you are using other platforms, then go ahead. Now, forget about the Facebook, forget about the LinkedIn when you Google yourself, everything. This is something that everyone knows. And of course, it's important. I'm not saying it's not important. But what about the media? What does the media talk about you? Or what does other people talk about you? And that is what most important. So if I were you, check on yourself, Google yourself, your name, the place that you come from, or even the organizations or the industries that you are from. I think that will tell you something, all right? Okay. So sometimes the digital platform or the social media platform knows you better than how you perceive yourself. Okay. All right. Next. Now, the key element of your personal brand, your brand vision, your desired reputation itself. Okay. Now, your brand mission, your main purpose. Okay. Your brand personality, your personal characteristics and traits, and your brand message. Okay, these are the key elements of your personal brand. Okay, now your brand vision itself. What are your desired reputation? What do you want people to know? What do you want people to say about you? And your brand mission itself, your main purpose of being around. Okay, like you can be a lecturer. Okay, and you want to be known as someone that's really good in teaching that particular subject itself. Okay, your main purpose is to educate. Okay, and what about your personality itself? Your personal characteristic. You're friendly. You're helpful. You know. So your brand message is important. Your key message that you want them to know. Okay. So your personal brand message can be like that you are a leader in this field, in the field of education, and you are a lecturer that's very helpful, and you're always there for them. So these are some of the elements that you can actually craft out for yourself. Next. Jack Ma. I think everyone knows Jack Ma. Now, Jack Ma is known for his perseverance, hiring of the right talents, and of course, for enjoying life. Okay. Now, so these are his attributes. So you may want to discover something that's unique about you versus Jack Ma. All right, and start promoting that. Okay. Next. Now, of course, step number 2, communicating your value proposition. Now, your value proposition itself is a statement that tells you or tells your audience why are you so different and valuable versus the person that's sitting next to you. Okay. Now, when you approach that, take on a more holistic approach in terms of building the brand, both in person, online, which is the most important media right now, and of course on paper. Okay. In today's context, yes, the online probably has taken on a more important role and much easier, in fact. But on papers, in terms of your resume and things like that, which is also equally important, at least in today's context. Okay, next. Okay, on papers itself is where, like what I said, resume, cover letters, make sure that you design them. It's not just a word format. In today's context, in fact, I'm reading a lot of resume that really wows me because they really take pain and effort in designing the cover letters. Okay, and of course, thank you letters for managers, your colleagues, your client, your networking colleagues, contacts, and other professionals. Always take extra effort. Now, remember what I said: differentiate yourself. Okay, if it's something that everyone is doing, then there's nothing really that memorable about you. Okay, if you can, if you do have the opportunity, always publish some books or journals. Start by writing some blogs or journals, and then subsequently, if you do have the resources, publish some books on the area which you promote yourself on. Okay, next. In person. Now, a lot of us tend to shy away from networking events. I think that is the very first step that you probably need to look into yourself. Okay, be in the network that you are keen in. Okay, that you have an interest or have a stick in. Okay, social gathering and of course business meeting itself. Now, personal brand may have the word personal in it, but in fact, the whole process of building the personal brand itself, it involves not just only you. Okay, so you really need to get yourself out into the community. Okay, All right. So the source itself is from the Influencer Marketing Hub. You may want to look out more on this. Okay. Now, do not be afraid to put yourself out there. Okay. The more we share, the more we invite others to connect with us, and the more connections that we have, it's actually the key towards building network in personal and professional spheres of our life. Okay, network, as all we know, are the breeding ground for opportunities. Okay, now this is quoted from Ms. Christine Stewart, the VP for North Media at America in Twitter itself. Now, if you just want to stay at home or keep to your very small community itself, then that's it. That's your reach, that's your exposure. So in today's context, it's not that difficult. In fact, sitting at your home, you still can get yourself out there in terms of networking. So there are a lot of webinars that are going around. There are a lot of networking that are going online right now. In fact, a lot of conferences are going online right now. Okay, as you know, I own an event company. We are receiving a lot of inquiries to do events online. Okay, so this is where get yourself out there. Start by going the online platform, especially during post-COVID-19 time, right? If you find that, you feel a bit intimidated by meeting on a face-to-face level, then I would suggest that you take on the initial step, go online and start networking from there, right? Perhaps from there, then once you get up your confidence level, that's where you can move on to the next step and meet them in person, out post-COVID. Okay, next. Digital platforms. Now, add values to your followers' feed, stay engaged, and build a community around the content. Now, as you know, my interest is in karate. I think you can see from the video. So I anchor myself around my karate friends, both in Singapore and around the region. Okay, and of course, it depends on what you're interested in. Right, be relevant and active to keep yourself top of the mind of your audience itself. Now, by being active and actively engaging them, by building content around the thing that you're interested in, the subject itself, and this will actually help to promote that, when it comes to this, they know that, hey, probably I should ask Roger or should ask you about the subject matter which they're interested in. So this is something that it takes time to build, but start building, okay? Now showcase your portfolio online whenever you have the opportunity. All right, don't shy away from that opportunity. Write on that opportunity and show it online. Okay, next. Okay, the 6 online branding tips in terms of reputation management. The very first one. Now, like what I said, Google yourself. Try that. Okay, and then if the result should reflect your desired image. Now, as we all know, online platforms is something that's very difficult to manage. It takes a bit of effort. Okay, so talk to your friends. Talk to some of your friends that you know who are an influencer, who are very popular or very famous online, right? Tell them to actually help you. Okay, and then of course, whenever you go, whenever opportunity that you have, when you have media coverage itself, I think that is a very first step that you should do. Portray a good image and talk to the media on how you should project yourself, or get them to actually assist to project yourself to see whether that is the desired image that you want. Okay, and of course, be an active user of LinkedIn. I think in today's platform, if you're not on LinkedIn, you probably miss out a big chunk of professional engagement that you have. Now, tweet about the topic that's related to your professional interest. Okay, start writing, start tweeting. Okay, and bring offline relationship online and connect with people that haven't spoken online or haven't spoken for a very long time to online. Let me name you an example. I've got people that connected to me from my primary school days. It's so easy to find me. Okay, so this is where you may never know. They may be sitting at the top management level, which you probably will need one of these days for their help. So start connecting with people itself. Share your professional status, update your followers on Instagram and Facebook. Okay, so this is where it needs a bit of time. And we know that, for some of the top management people, they do have a group that helps them. So if you have resources and you find that you're not too good on that, perhaps you may want to actually engage someone to help you. Okay, stay diligent about your online presence. Always stay online whenever possible. Okay, not with today's devices, it's so easy, using your smartphone. Okay, next. Step number 3, be consistent. Now, effective personal branding is about being consistent. And without a consistent message, your brand means nothing. You can't be everything everywhere. Okay? So your personal brand needs to be consistent with your reputation. And consistency actually builds credibility and clarity. Now, be consistent now. What I mean, let me name you an example. Like if today, if you love cats, and you probably your dog lover or a cat lover itself or cat lovers, and next thing is that I don't just love cats. I love other animals. I love to breed fish. Let the message got too cluttered. Now, as far as personal brand is concerned, try to get yourself focused into one area and anchor on it. And from there, subsequently, once you get yourself out there, then you can consider, then you perhaps, it's about time that you want to consider bringing other things. So be consistent in your message. Don't clutter, all right, your message when it comes to your audience. Okay, next. Now, how to build your personal branding during the COVID-19 period? I've got a lot of people asking me, COVID-19, where everyone locked down at home, where the movements are being restricted. So how? What should we do? I think this is something that I can share. Next. Get personal. This is where you have a lot of time sometimes, So that's where you start contacting your friends, start connecting with your community. Get personal with them, okay? All right, get in touch with them. Phone calls to customers and suppliers. This is a buzz, okay? Otherwise, they'll forget about you. Once post COVID, if you're not there, they'll forget about you. Now, show genuine care and concern with personal touch, okay? During this period of time, it's where you may need to actually contact with them again, connect them again, and then at the same time show your concern. Now, if you don't care about them, they'll forget about you no matter how times. Now, tough times don't last, but love do. Okay, so start loving your friends, start loving your customers, start loving your suppliers. Okay, next. Collaborations over competition. Now, this is where a lot of people see competitors as, well, my nemesis, and they forgot about something. During this period of time is where you can actually combine resources. Okay, and so start looking at what are the things that you can actually have synergies, achieve some form of synergies with your competitor itself. All right, especially when times are bad, you need to combine your resources. This is where your competitors may be having an edge over some of the resources that you share, with them. So this is where, during tough time like that, let's pull together instead of, compete against each other. All right, okay, go on, next. Inspired success together through working together itself. Just to tell you, in fact, among the events managers or events owner in Singapore, in fact, we set up a platform or a chat group where we used to be competing with each other, pitching with each other, where sometimes some of the pitching job I will see some of my competitors. But in today's context itself, in fact, the group is so cohesive that we start sharing resources, start sharing some of the ideas. All right, although we are competitors. So things like that, I think it does help you to actually break through this period of time. Next. Now, people love a deal maker, not a deal breaker itself. So look into how you can actually synergize with each other. Okay, collaborate with each other. Get really, really social on social media. Okay. People love seeing positive messages during tough times like that. I do have people that send me messages every day, WhatsApp. Okay, some encouraging messages and all sorts of things. Initially, I may not pay attention, but subsequently, after a while, I will actually take note. So start doing that. Get yourself there. Send out some positive messages to your client, your intended audience itself. Okay. So yeah, start showing them love. Next. Be really active on social platforms like LinkedIn and Facebook. Okay. Next. Share some helpful facts and useful information, but not fake news. During this period of time is where you start getting news from all over the place itself. Some of them may be fake news, okay? So this is where you need to actually qualify the news that you share, okay, in today's context. So start looking at some of your information that you managed to get through some of your contacts, which are not made available in the very platforms that you are sharing. You can always share that, okay? And through that, they'll be able to find values in your existence. Next. Well, like what I said, start attending interviews. In today's context, you can be having interviews not by visiting the studios, but at the comfort of your own home. All right, start soliciting, start being an opinion leader in the area that you serve. Okay, so this is one of the way that you can brave through the COVID period. Next. Okay, some of the personal branding seminars that I've conducted during this period of time, which I think one of them you can see is Miss Lumia International, some of the pageants, Mr. World. Now, why pageants? Some of them will probably ask me, hey, Roger, you conduct a lot of personal branding for some of the pageant, because in pageant itself, it's where it's highly competitive. Everyone coming from different industries, but all wanted the crown of the pageant itself. Okay, so this is where I think, yes, they are there, they existed because of their quality, but among the quality, they can always find something that differentiates themselves among each other. So during pageants itself, where you can see personal branding has taken on another different level altogether. Now imagine you have about 30 of people competing for the same title. So everyone will be looking into the values that differentiate them. Okay, so this is what I have to share. On personal branding seminar itself. So if you want to find out more, you can always contact Ms. My sister Dato Sharifah, and I'll be able to share more from you. Okay. So having said that, I hope some of you will be able to gain from the personal branding sharing session itself in terms of business resiliency during this period of time. And thank you for being with me. All right. So if you do have some questions, you're welcome to actually post it online right now. Otherwise, I'll pass on the platform to Madam Sharifah. Thank you, ma'am.
Hey, Roger, thank you so much. Wow, so much to learn from you.
Thanks, ma'am.
Okay, participants, please shoot questions to Roger. Don't let him go without any questions.
Sure. I'll be more than happy to actually help.
Yeah, so much to learn from you, Roger. Great experience. Yeah?
Thank you.
Okay, good afternoon.
Yes.
Hi, good afternoon.
Yeah, okay, my name is Krishna Veni. I just would like to know, during the pandemic times, so let's say how the social media can help us, because touch to the people in very proper way.
Okay, sure. I think during this pandemic time, especially during the lockdown, or even now where movement are being restricted, right? It's very difficult sometimes to travel from a place to place, and with all this restriction itself. I think to find the platform would be, I think there are a lot of social media platforms itself that are available right now. Okay, so look into your Facebook, look into your LinkedIn, look into your WhatsApp, okay? WhatsApp being personal itself, or the group chat that you have. Now, the idea is actually to show care, to show concern, to show that you still existing, okay? Otherwise, right, after the whole lockdown probably will last about 6 months, they'll probably forget about you. So look into your list of people that you think that, number one, will be able to help you, especially post-COVID-19. All right, both your friends, your clients. I think more importantly, it depends on who you are. If you are students, all right, even your prospective employer will be important. Okay, so look into all the platforms itself. Start engaging them on the platform. Now, the moment they responded you on the platform itself, right, then use that platform. All right, do not bombard them with all the platforms coming in. Just choose one particular platform that they are comfortable and stay in touch with them through that. All right, especially during this period of time, you can't meet up with them face to face. You can't even go for a cup of coffee, or things like that. So this is where online presence is important. Share with them what you think that is of value to them, or in fact, even to promote yourself to them. Okay, I hope that answers your question.
Yes, sir, thank you. But one more thing, I need to confirm that LinkedIn is more, most of them is more professional or that.
That's right.
So that kind of people, how we can just, really can have a touch with them,
Okay, now in LinkedIn itself, look into the community. Are you a student or are you currently working right now?
No, I'm currently working. I'm an insurance agent.
Oh, okay. You are a what agent again?
Insurance. I'm a life planner.
Okay, life planner, all right, financial planner, insurance agent. I
Yes.
think that's even more important during this period of time. Okay, yes, LinkedIn is a professional platform. Having said that, even Facebook nowadays, they do have professional companies having their Facebook page, even on blogs also, okay? So the way that you should go around, it depends on your target audience. Now, if you find that your target audience are professionals, this is where you need to get very active on LinkedIn and start writing some posts, you know, or some journals that will be able to help you to promote. I think during this period of time is where everyone feels for their safety. You know, what if their coverage are not enough? How can they actually have proper coverage in the event if they fall sick? It's not just about now, but about future. I think this is the best time for you, man. A lot of my friends I know are taking really serious look into their insurance policy right now to ensure that they are adequately covered, not just from the country of origins that they're from, but when they travel, once the pandemic opens up, or once the pandemic is over, when when travel bans are over itself, you will be seeing a lot of influx in terms of traveling. So are they adequately covered? So this is where you can actually find out some information and share with them. You know, try to post from your point of view, right? Try to post like, are you adequately covered to travel? You know, so things like that, something to actually sort of invoke them into thinking. So this is, in my opinion, it will actually help. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thanks. I hope that answers your questions. Okay, any other questions coming from the floor?
You know, Roger, you give them so much information and so much sharing. They're so well equipped that they may not have many questions for you.
Can I ask if
Yeah, there's one coming.
Hi, Mr. Tamamiya from
hi,
UniKL. Hi. You're
hi,
one of them that actually got the answer right just now. Okay, yes. Any questions that you want to shoot? Yeah.
yes, I wanted to ask if it will be a wise decision to hire someone so he can handle all the social platforms for us or not. If I feel like overwhelmed by all, because it's like lots and lots of platforms, and we need to write like the perfect answer, the perfect responses for all the events that might happen in my social circle. Will it be a good advice to hire someone to do this for me, or it should be more genuine that if I write it myself?
Okay, good questions, Mr. Tami. I think excellent questions that you brought up. In fact, if you're looking at, it depends on which level do you want to engage them. If you're looking at politicians, they do have a specific team that helps them to manage all their social medias. It may be seen that they are actually posting, I will not quote Donald Trump, in fact, that he actually does his own tweet every day, Instagram. Okay, so it actually makes sense, you know, it depends on how intense your engagement is with the media itself or with the social platform. Now, if you find that it's too intense, then perhaps you would like to get one or two helpers to help you. The person that really knows you, your characteristics, your own personality traits. Okay, it's really quite common for some of the CEOs or some of the listed company to actually have their PR department looking into helping them to engage or manage their social media platform. Now, on the other hand, if you have restriction towards your resources stuff, then you may want to select one or two to anchor in, and that's it. Sometimes you can't have everything everywhere. You know, it all depends on your resources. But it's a good idea if you can afford and if your engagement is really in intense, then to have one or two. Now, you may not have a professional team that helps you, but at least if you have someone that actually knows you, and probably you can pay a token for the services. But ensure that they know about you and how you would respond. And to some of the more important response itself, they may want to check back with you before they even post. Okay, like what I said, if you're not managing your social media yourself, okay, or you actually engage someone to manage, right? Then you leave it to the general public to manage you, your social media, or your online presence. Then that is a mistake. Okay, so the answer back to you is it depends on how intense your engagement you want it to be. If it is something that you need every day and you find that you have restriction in terms of or limited in terms of resources of time, then I would encourage you to actually look for someone who has known you very well, or at least you brief them, right, on how you would like to respond. Um, and then for the more important responses, right, ensure that you read or you audit before they post it up. Okay, because the moment you post it up, it can stay there for a long time. Okay, all right. So I hope that answers your question, Mr. Tamia.
Yes, sir, it answers. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thanks
sir.
so much.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. Oh, can I ask one more question?
Certainly.
Yeah, so the idea of consistency, that when I'm branding myself over the years, I have to be consistent. It for me, because like I know that we are made to change, and maybe I decided to make a little kind of shift in how I perceive some ideas. Will it be like a wise decision to make this, like how can we make this shift and still have our consistent branding still in position? Does it make sense if I change my mind about something and then I want to make this little shift in my own personal branding?
Okay, good questions again. Okay, the thing that falls back in terms of consistency is actually your fundamentals. Okay, now beyond fundamentals, you can always change because as time goes by, you mature, right? You learn new things, you acquire new knowledge. The environment will change, and that probably will change some of your mindset into thinking something. But if you're looking at consistency, we refer more towards your fundamentals as a person itself or as a personal brand. You know, what are your fundamentals? Your fundamentals will never change. Like, take for example, you are a very friendly person. You're a very helpful person. You can't change it overnight to be someone that's very obnoxious and unfriendly. Okay, those are your fundamentals. But your ideas, you can always change, or your opinions, you can always change. Like today, probably 5 years ago, someone find that, Donald Trump probably excellent president. But in today's context, he may be not, or vice versa. Ideas can change. But fundamentals, your interest in politics, in the welfare of the country itself. No, those are the fundamentals. So ensure that your fundamentals remain consistent. Okay. So I hope that answer your very basic on how do you want the audience or the public to know about you. Okay, that is the fundamentals of your personal brand journey. Ideas or comment, you're welcome to change it because sometimes it changes towards time. With time itself, your environment changes towards time, or even the scenarios changes from time to time. But your fundamentals must remain. Okay, so they probably know you as someone that's very interested in politics. Very concerned about politics and things like that. Okay, so this is something that will never change. Your fundamentals, but whoever you support can change. Okay, it actually goes with time and policy. So I hope that sort of give you an idea on what
Yes, sir. Thank you.
remain consistent. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Mr. Tavi. Any other questions, Kelly? Or otherwise, I can always leave my details with Dato Sharifah, or you can actually get in touch with me through Dato Sharifah. I'll be more than happy to actually assist or share my personal brand journey with all of you. Ma'am?
They can get in touch with you direct, Roger, no problem. They can invite you to Malaysia to do when the when the MCO is over.
Yes, certainly. I'm looking forward towards coming.
Yeah, can do some physical workshop. Yeah.
Yes, of course. I'll be more than happy to share. Yeah. Or we can always invite some of you when you are down in Singapore itself. Do visit MIS through Dr. Sharifah itself.
Yeah.
That you can always get in touch with us. We are more than happy to host you when you are in Singapore. As you know, MIS, we are actually a not-for-profit body itself. Yeah. So we will always, and IMM is our collaborative partner, our strategic partner, in fact.
Thanks, Roger, for those kind words. Oh, well, maybe if there's one more question, otherwise we will just close the session. Okay, there's one chat there. Oh, yeah, okay, she's leaving. Good sharing. Okay, I think, okay, Roger, I think we'll just end the session.
Sure, no problem.
Okay. So once again,
thanks.
Roger, thank you so much.
I hope everyone stays safe. All right, stay safe. And then most importantly, exercise. Build up your resistance towards and fight the COVID virus. Okay. See you, everyone.
Okay. Thanks, Roger.
Bye.
Okay, see you. Bye.
Don't stop, I love it when you call me señorita. I wish I could pretend I didn't need ya, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true, la la la. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you know I love it when you call me señorita. I wish it wasn't so damn hard to leave ya, but every touch is ooh la la la. It's true, la la la. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you keep me coming for ya. All along I've been coming for ya, and I hope it meant something to ya. Call my name, I'll be coming for ya, coming for ya. For ya. Oh, she loves it when I call for ya. Ooh, I should be running. Ooh, you keep me coming for ya. A club isn't the best place to find the lovers, so the bar